Good.
Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. We're here on the YouTube show with my co-host Matt. Thanks again, Matt, for coming on. It's a pleasure. Let's keep on rolling from here.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm
Anytime.
excited to be here. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to go over. We got a lot to think about.
Yes, we do. So first up for our first part of our show here on the Fire Sports Pod, we're going to be going over a couple things. One, we're going to be going over some sports stories around the leagues that me and Matt were uh, basically putting together and we found. So we'll talk to you guys about that. Big news with Wander Franco in the MLB with the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll get into that as well. Our second segment here on our YouTube show is going to be going over the conference play that is starting up for men's college basketball. It's some great basketball is going to be played, and we're gonna get you to that. And then our third and final segment, we're gonna be going over the NFL schedule for this week, and basically wrapping up the NFL season. It feels like we just started the NFL season and it's already over, and we're getting into the playoffs. So this is the last week of the regular season, and everything else from that will be the playoffs. So let's get right to it, Matt. How shall we?
Yep. Let's dive right into it.
Okay, so the first thing up, like I said, I have some sports stories around the leagues. Now, I have it here on my phone. First up, we got to give a good shout out to the first ever created women's hockey league. It has been created. Ella Shelton scored the opening goal for Corinne Schroeder, earned the first shutout, and New York beat the Toronto 4-0 in the Ingram Professional Women's Hockey League game Monday. Alice Carpenter had one goal, one assist. Jill Selenier and Kayla Vespa also scored, and Schroeder made 29 saves. Christian Campbell stopped 24 shots for Toronto in the front of a sellout crowd of 2,537 at Maname Athletic Century, the former home of the NHL's Maple Leafs. So we just got to shout out 2,537 people came out to see the first ever women's hockey league game, professional women's league hockey game. So that's a big thing as well. It's great to see that there are different things coming about. We got the women getting involved in these so-called two physical sports for women to play, and it's great to see that we have hockey. We're somewhat implementing some type of football. There's been a couple women that have been entered football in high school and in college, so it's pretty cool to have that. Tennis, great, and a PHWHL board member Billie Jean King performed the ceremonial puck drop alongside PWHL Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations Janin Hefford. Each Toronto player was introduced to the crowd pre-game. All received standing ovations as the lights flashed from fans' mobile phones, recording the historic moment. The historic moment for the 6-team league that is collective bargaining agreement with its players in place of 22 through 2031. So that's pretty crazy. I'm about to let out my dog before he starts barking up a storm. So Matt, take on just your reaction to having the first ever national women's hockey team, which is a pretty crazy feat. Just to have that in general.
Yeah. I mean, professional hockey obviously is a sport that over time has gained more popularity. Now we're starting to see, the women's side of sports kind of grow,
Yes.
rise. That's what we like to see. And also, I think it's very entertaining that will entertain the idea that will allow these women to do actual ice hockey with the same rules that the men use and be allowed to fight and be allowed to go into the penalty boxes and all that stuff. I think it's great. You said their collective bargaining agreement goes on until 2031, so that means that everyone's going to be getting paid up until then,
Which is fantastic.
Which is good.
And it's good to see. So that was one of our stories. It's just a reaction to, I'm a big hockey guy. I know Matt's not the biggest hockey guy, but
I've been getting into it.
Yeah, but we still gotta represent. We still gotta give a shout out to those women that are literally putting they're putting their bodies on the line almost every night, competing for the fans to show that women can do this. women can do some similar things as the men can do, and showing that pride and showing that dedication is great. So let's move on to our second story we have, and that is with the Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco. He was arrested Monday in his native Dominican Republic after being interviewed by prosecutors investigating him for alleged inappropriate relationship with minors, sources confirmed to ESPN. So he did not show up Thursday for his meeting, and he is now arrested, and he has to be in front of a judge in 48 hours. If not, there's going to be some severe penalties. And
He is screwed. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
To put it in simple terms, he's screwed. I mean, there was about 3 or 4 arrest warrants out for his arrest. They raided his house. He wasn't there. Yeah, there's not much else he can do. He seems guilty.
Yeah, he does.
And on top of that, he's probably not going to be back in the league.
Oh, without a doubt. If he's back in the league, we got a problem. But we just got news about 41 minutes ago. Dominican prosecutors accuse Wander Franco of commercial sexual exploitation and money laundering. Judge to rule Friday. So his ruling will be Friday, but it looks like
Dominican Republic, by the way, very harsh legal system.
Yes, it is.
Very, very, very harsh.
Yes, it is.
So money laundering, and then what was the other charge you said?
Sexual exploitation.
Sexual exploitation. Oof. Yeah, that's not going to be no slap on the wrist, especially in DR.
Exactly. No, that's not going to be no slap on the wrist, and he ain't going to get off that easy. But moving from that story, we have the Yankees, and we've been talking a lot about the Yankees over the last couple weeks with the signing of Juan Soto, but we missed out on Shohei Ohtani. We missed out on Yamamoto, and both of them went to the Dodgers. So what's the best option for the Yankees to sign in the offseason that's a pitcher? Right now,
our pitching isn't a top priority. It shouldn't be.
I think it is.
I think our pitching's good.
I don't think our pitching's good.
We have Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole can't answer everything. That's what happened.
Nestor Cortez.
Nestor Cortez keeps been injured. And that's
He's due for a healthy year soon.
I hope so, but we lost Luis Severino. Rodon sucks because he's injured the whole time. He will never stay healthy. We lost Montgomery last year. We lost 5 reliever pitchers in the deal with Juan Soto. So, I mean, I don't understand and this is where the debate happens. I don't understand where you think that our pitching is good. I say,
it was good.
I don't think it's good at all. I think
it was fine last year. I don't think pitching was the problem last year. If you think pitching was the problem, then you got to reevaluate yourself as well.
No, you should actually look.
It was our hitting because everybody went up there trying to hit a fucking 450-foot bomb every time.
But if you look at the pitching, Matt,
pitching never wins games. Hitting wins games.
I understand that, but if you don't have a good a pitching system and you don't have a good bullpen and you go into the playoffs, you can hit 5 home runs and you might think you win the game. But if you're versing a team like the Astros, the Dodgers,
who's a very team that's they are very decisive on what they take and don't take.
Yeah, well, they're gonna beat us because we don't have
they're gonna beat us because they play smart baseball. They get guys that hit the ball, put the ball into play, and force runners on base. So they just rack up runs after run after. This is what they've been doing probably since 2016. The Astros, they've just been very strategic with how they win games with their hitting. Like, if they're pitching, they know pitching is never a guarantee to show up. So what they do is they know that hitting is going to be something that they can try to guarantee. They need 3 guys out of that 9 people batting that day just to be very strategic. And they do that, it's going to help the team put more runs, and it's also going to help them win more games. And that's the Yankees' problem. We have guys that don't do that. We have guys. Well, now we have a guy that does that, Juan Soto.
Okay, well, let me tell you this, and this is going to shut down your whole goddamn argument, because this is why the problem is that if I'm saying this and then I'm looking at the thing and it says CBS Sports saying this, the analyst that covers the Yankees and also does stuff for CBS for baseball, says re-signing the NL Cy Young winner has his flaws, which everybody has their flaws: control issues, general inability to work deep into games, to name a couple. However, Snell puts up elite strikeout numbers, and for his career, he boasts a ERA plus of 127. After the Yankees missed out on Yamamoto, Snell is the best starting pitcher left on the market, and thus the best target for the Yanks, who badly need help in the rotation behind ace Garrett Cole, with recently acquired Juan Soto going into his walk year, and is unlikely to sign an extension. GM Brian Cashman can't stop now, even if the drop-off from Yamamoto to every other available starter is substantial. Snell is the best fit at this point. Go get him. You got to go get him. If you can't get him, we're not going to do nothing, because no matter how many home runs we're going to hit, if we cannot have a pitcher to help Garrett Cole, because one, every motherfucker last year was hurt. Two, everybody was inconsistent. And three, it didn't even look like they wanted to play. The only pitcher that was consistent, didn't get hurt, and actually looked like he wanted to play was Garrett Cole. And if we only have one fucking,
what are you gonna do with injuries though? Like, there's nothing.
No, it's not even the injuries. It's also
the injuries, because it's taking out guys.
They're not consistent. They're not.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're not. You're right. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna get rid of those guys. You're gonna get rid of those guys and get a whole new farm of pitchers.
Like, you stay with your rotation, but you have to bring in guys that are
okay. You got to keep. Okay, the focus is we got to keep these guys healthy, and then maybe bring in a closer, and then another guy that can start.
Blake Snell is a Cy Young winner. I don't know what the hell we already have. Go look at the lineup. What else do we need? What else do you want to spend millions and millions of dollars on for a guy to hit what? More home runs or more base hits?
No.
Like, we don't need that. Look at the lineup that we have. And not to mention the rookies that played last year that shouldn't even play.
All right, fill in for Severino and also get a closer.
Okay, simple. And that just solves exactly the argument that we just had. You saying we need batting. I just said we need pitching. You just said
the Yankees need to focus when they play games. They need to focus more on trying to get on base than hit a 500-foot home run.
That's fine. Okay, that's cool. But if
the pitching,
it doesn't matter, because
the pitching will be fine if we get maybe one or two guys.
Yeah, but that's the problem. We can't get those one or two guys. So when we don't have Garrett Cole pitching, hold on. If we don't have Garrett Cole pitching, it's like we need to score 6-7 runs in order to win the game without Garrett Cole pitching. Why? Because we don't have a consistent pitcher to freaking strike out batters. And if you bring Garrett Cole, Blake Snell, with hopefully a healthy Rodon, with Nestor Cortez, then we talk it. But if we don't break up a guy that can actually do damage, because I know you wouldn't be complaining if we got Yamamoto, because that guy with Garrett Cole.
Well, we didn't, and I kind of knew we weren't going to get him.
I knew we weren't going to get him because
I figured he was going to. My call was he was going to go to the Jays. I was still wrong, but I just knew he wasn't coming to the Yankees.
I had a feeling that he was either going to the Dodgers or the Yankees, but it is what it is. But we needed a pitcher. We lost Luis Severino. We lost 5 other relieving pitchers that helped us in the bullpen, and we don't know about Rodon because we paid him money and he's inconsistent and getting hurt, and his stuff is terrible last year. Horrible, horrific. It was really bad, just like Luis Severino. We also lost Montgomery, and look what he did with the Texas Rangers. So you can't tell me we need another bat. We have enough guys that can hit base hits. Volpe
we have enough guys that can hit. They just don't want to hit. They don't want to hit the right way.
Well, guess what? They're gonna have to learn. It's not the whole lineup. It's Juan. It's Judge. It's Stanton. It's Rizzo. And it's LeMahieu last year. All those, and Torres. Those guys. Well, Torres actually hit really well for us consistently.
Torres had his best season last year.
The only 4 guys that had anything was Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, and LeMahieu. Those 4 guys out of the 9 people on the lineup wanted to keep hitting home runs. Everybody else was hitting base hits, but it was a problem because those guys in the top of the lineup would keep striking out. It was funny because we would have great outings.
Judge always gets an exception because he's just so like strong. Like that's just all it is.
That's fine. He has to stay healthy. I think he had a great year.
Really, there's no problem with Judge Al. There's never.
No, there is a problem because
not with Judge.
No, listen, there is a problem.
What problem? What is wrong with Aaron Judge as a baseball player? Please tell me, other than maybe his health.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
but
that's all he needs to focus on is taking care of his body.
Do you understand that health, right?
Yes,
is the biggest thing, right?
Yes.
If you can't be on the field, then guess what? You're nothing. So
for all of sports.
Exactly. Why do you think LeBron James is considered one of the best players, if not the best player over the walk of the
planet?
planet?
$1 million every year in his body.
But hey, he has the money.
I'm saying that. I mean, it clearly shows up.
Exactly. And Judge, well, other than the 62 home run and the first 2 years of his career, it's been like injury. So you can't tell me it's great. If you cannot be healthy and on the field for your team, then there's a problem. Now, when he's healthy, he's fantastic. Like last year, he got hurt. He was in the beginning.
That wasn't his fault.
No,
that
listen,
was literally the Dodgers
that wasn't his fault. Listen, he was healthy in the beginning of the year. Fantastic. We were good. We were like 12, 15 games above 500. He gets injured, not his fault, but gets injured, and he's out for 55 games. We suck. He comes back. It's like he never even missed a beat. So we understand that. As a Yankees fan, we understand that. But the problem is that if you're still not healthy, no matter if it's your fault or not, you can't provide. That's why we got Juan Soto. That's it. There's no need unless we get a Cody Bellinger, which I would love to get Cody Bellinger, but we're not going to get him. I want to focus on pitching. And if you ask any other Yankee fan, people that are older, our parents, well, at least my family that are Yankee fans, they would say pitching. Because every fucking year in the playoffs that we've been, we have failed on pitching. Pitching has been the real thing. Pitching. Think about it. Jose Altuve, walk-off home run against who? Chapman, pitcher.
Fuck
closer. Chapman. Yeah, well, fuck Chapman. That's why he's out of here. But that's our problem. Every year it's F this guy, that's pitching.
Yeah, because Chapman will literally turn into a bitch the second he went to the Yankees.
It was also other people in other games in those previous years against Houston, against Boston, against the Rays. We can't get nothing going when it comes to pitching. Garrett Cole has been our consistent guy.
We have Clark Schmidt still, too.
Clark Schmidt, that's crazy. But I actually would like him in the bullpen. I think he's a better guy from the bullpen than he is as a starter. I like him as a starter, but I think he would be better.
He actually had a good year.
No, he had a great year. I just think he would be better suited with the bullpen. His stuff is nasty. It would be great to have him at the end. Clay Holmes again. Yes, he was great, then went inconsistent. I don't know what the hell happened to him. After the All-Star break, he was just terrible. So I don't want to hear nothing. We need pitching. We're done.
Whenever he comes back.
Who?
Loizaga.
Loizaga, yeah.
Loizaga. I can't never say his last name.
He's all good. He's back. He's there. He's great when he's there. Again, injuries, consistency. That is the name of the game. If you can't if you can't be there on the field, no matter if it's health, injury, suspension, you're detrimental to the team. So that's all. We need pitching. Everybody in the sports world is going to say we need pitching. You can ask anybody who's the Yankee.
We need two goals. That's it.
You can talk to Stephen A. Smith on First Take. He'll tell you right away. Pitching.
We need two guys. We need a starter and we need a closer.
Blake Snell. That's our starter. And then
we need a closer.
We'll find a closer.
We
have two legitimate ones, but it's if they stay healthy. Clay Holmes is our closer right now. I like him, but he needs to.
That's why we need a backup.
And Loizaga is supposed to be our backup, but he gets injured. So we'll see.
That's why we need a backup.
But we need a bona fide starting pitcher.
We have one. We just need another.
No, we have a lot. We have Nestor Cortez.
We have Nestor. Nestor is an elite. Is an elite pitcher.
He's fantastic.
When he is doing it. When he's pitching.
When he's doing it, I need when Garrett Cole, Blake Snell, Nestor Cortez, and Rodon. You're telling me you would not feel really good if we have Blake Snell. I would take him over any fucking person left for a hitter because we need pitching. That's it. End of discussion. I ain't
Blake
going.
Snell, a free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent. We could pick him up, and we need to pay him. But hey, he's got Blake Snell is the only best available option on the market.
Well, it's if Cashman has the balls to offer a deal.
We'll see. All right, now moving on from the Yankees, we're going to go into some football with the San Francisco 49ers. Christian McCaffrey will not play in the Week 18 matchup against the Rams. He has a mild calf strain. They are confident that he will be back for the playoffs and in full health, but we'll see if that's true. Remember, this guy's always had problems with ankle injuries, calf strains, calf injuries, this, that, and the other thing with his
Especially when
feet.
postseason rolls around, he's
Exactly. So I don't care what anyone says. I want to see him fully healthy and back to normal and see how he is, because everyone
he's a
says
dog.
that
He's a dog.
he's a dog. He's great, and
He's a
I
dog.
respect him big time. But I don't care what anybody says. He's always hurt.
It's true.
Always. Every year he's been hurt. Every year.
I mean, football, you're prone to get hurt, especially as a running back.
Yeah. Well, consistency is the big thing. Availability.
It's hard.
Is
Being
the best.
consistent as a running back is probably the most difficult thing
It's
you can do. Probably
right.
the most difficult thing you can do in the NFL, hands down.
But availability is the best. Is the best thing. If you're available,
I think the average lifespan of a running back is like 4 years.
Well, yeah, playing wise, yeah. Now,
yeah,
but it is what it
is.
is.
It's tough. It's rough.
It's tough. I'm not saying it's not tough, but availability is the best thing.
He's one of those guys. It's like we've been talking about with the injuries. It's just, these guys are all elite when they can play.
Yeah, but they're not when they're not in. We're gonna stay with the NFC. We're going to the Cowboys. Can win the NFC East by beating the Commanders this week against on Week 18 after they are confirmed for the playoffs. If they do win, we are trying out La'el Collins, working out for the team Tuesday, according to NFL media. Collins, who reportedly visited the Bills days earlier, could soon join Dallas practice squad as long as he passes a physical, per Ian Rappaport. That would make him eligible for game day promotions throughout the entire 2023 postseason. So this is a reunite for La'el Collins with the Cowboys, as he was with my Cowboys in 2021. From 2015 to 2021, he was the anchor on the right tackle. We just need depth with the offensive line, because that's been our problem this year. Lately, I should say, our offensive lineman's been getting thin, so we need some backup, especially with Tyler Smith going down. He's supposed to play. We'll see if that even happens. He tore something in his left foot. But it's gonna be interesting to see what the Cowboys will do, because Jerry Jones, he's not known to pick up people.
Not a good owner.
No, I hate him. Now more with the Cowboys. The offensive lineman, like we were talking about, left guard Tyler Smith suffering a torn plantar fascia. I can't even say it. In his left foot in last week's win against the Detroit Lions. Although Mike McCarthy said there's a chance he could play in Week 18 finale against the Washington Commanders. If I was Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys, I would sit him out. I don't think we need him for against the Commanders. I think it's going to be an absolute blowout. We might blow them out by more than what we did in Thanksgiving. I'm projecting us scoring over 40 points in this game. So I don't think we need him, but we'll see what happens. Left tackle Tyron Smith has been dealing with back injury, and backup tackle Chama Uduga was on the injury report last week with a toe injury. At linebacker, the Cowboys lost Leighton Vander Esch to a neck injury in October and have used Damon Clark and Marquise Bell and converted him into that linebacker type of way. But they were really those kind of small linebackers, like safety type of builds. At linebacker, the Cowboys lost those converted safety as their top linebackers. Last week, they cut Rashad Evans to make room for the offensive tackle Matt Walasuko after Evans was arrested for marijuana possession. If you guys didn't know, I talked about that last week in my TikTok when Evans was arrested because of marijuana possession, which is just fucking retarded.
Let me explain for the audience, because I'm gonna go to law school. When someone gets arrested for possession of marijuana, say now in 2024, like in the U.S. specifically, like if you're in a state where it's legalized and you get arrested for it, it's very likely because the amount you're carrying is like way over the like legal amount you're supposed to be carrying. So that's probably what they got him on. Is he probably had a good amount of weed on him, and
Yeah, probably.
that's why they charged him with that possession of marijuana. It's not because he's doing it. It's not because it's just because by law he has more than what's lawfully allowed of
Yeah.
him.
Okay. Thank you, Matt, for that law segment there. That was pretty interesting. To say the least. But moving on from that, we're staying with the Cowboys. There's a lot of stuff on the Cowboys and just who do the teams will the Cowboys play. For the Cowboys to play the NFC South winner, Dallas would have to get the 5th seed. So in order for that to happen, Dallas would have to lose to the Commanders and the Eagles to beat the Giants. But that's not going to happen. If that plays out, the Cowboys would then face the Bucs, Saints, or Falcons. Here's what would need to happen for each of those games to take place. The Cowboys at the Bucs. This game happens if the Buccaneers beat the Panthers in Week 18, which I do see happening. Cowboys at the Saints. This game happens if the Bucs lose to the Panthers and the Saints beat the Falcons. The Bucs are not losing to the Panthers, and the Saints are going to beat the Falcons. Cowboys at the Falcons. This game happens if the Bucs lose to the Panthers, which is not going to happen, and the Falcons beat the Saints, which is also not going to happen. Remember, these scenarios can only happen if the Cowboys don't win the division. Let's take a look at who Dallas might play if they do win the division. It's not a do. They're going to win the division. The Cowboys win the division. To win the NFC East, Dallas simply has to beat the Commanders, and that will lock up the 2 seed at the point that they will be just behind the 49ers, who is at the 1 seed. The Cowboys would then play the 7th seed. That team could be the Packers, the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Rams, or the Saints. Now, here's what would need to take place for each of those games to take place. The Packers at the Cowboys. This game happens if the Packers beat the Bears. I don't think the Packers are going to beat the Bears. I like the way Justin Fields and the Bears are playing. I'm going to take the Bears. We're going to go over the NFL picks at the end, but I got the Bears taking that in Week 18. Plus, the Rams beat the 49ers. I think it's going to be a great game. Without Christian McCaffrey, I think the Rams have a chance against the 49ers, but it might not happen, so I wouldn't put all your eggs in a basket. So I would say the 49ers will probably win against the Rams, but you never know. The Rams at the Cowboys. This game happens if the Packers beat the Bears in Week 18, which is not going to happen. I don't think so. And plus the Rams lose to the 49ers. That might happen. So the Rams actually might play the Cowboys in Dallas, which will be a pretty good matchup between Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. Seahawks at the Cowboys, rematch of Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago. This game happens if the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, which could also happen, plus the Packers lose to the Bears. That also could happen. So we've been looking at a rematch of the Seahawks at the Cowboys, where the Cowboys won 41-35 in Dallas in a great shootout type game. So we'll see what happens with that. But in all in all, no matter who the Cowboys play at home, I don't see any of the teams other than the Rams or the Seahawks giving any type of fight to the Dallas Cowboys at home. Saints at the Cowboys. This game happens if the Saints beat the Falcons. Now, Matt, you're gonna go crazy with this one. Saints at the Cowboys. This game happens if the Saints beat the Falcons, plus the Buccaneers beat the Panthers, plus the Seahawks and the Packers both lose. Hold on. Both lose. Vikings, and that's all for the Saints to play the Cowboys. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Now, this is the Vikings part. Vikings at the Cowboys. This game happens if the Vikings beat the Lions, plus the Seahawks and Packers both lose, plus the Falcons beat the Saints. This game can also happen if the Saints beat the Falcons, but in that situation, the Buccaneers would have to lose to the Panthers, along with the Vikings winning, plus the Packers and Seahawks losing. What the hell? That is also not happening. Those are like ridiculously claims that thinking that
Bro, these possibilities are wild. So it's like not even really worth it to think about because
I only see the
are they gonna happen? Probably not.
And
everything has to go right for one team or the other.
Yeah, I only see the Seahawks and the Rams playing the Cowboys, and both games are going to be pretty good, but I don't see any team out there that could take down the Cowboys in the first round, or really the only team that I'm afraid of are the 49ers. That's the only team, and really I want them again, and I want them in San Fran, and I want to beat the crap out of them to go to the NFC Championship. Because then, your our boy Stephen A. Smith, he going to be talking his shit. Oh, well, you got to the Super Bowl, but you didn't beat the 49ers. That's exactly what he's going to say. Now, I'm not going to hear that crap. So if we beat the Eagles, and we got to play the Eagles, or the Eagles play the 49ers, which is going to happen, and the 49ers win or the Eagles win, no matter what, if the Eagles win, they're going to get killed because the Cowboys have their numbers. The 49ers win is going to be a hell of a game, and it's going to be in Santa Clara, and I cannot wait for that game. I want San Fran to beat the Eagles so my Cowboys can beat the crap out of the 49ers, because that's the only way that all these Cowboys haters can shut the fuck up. Because that means we'll beat the best team in the NFC, the 49ers, to go to the Super Bowl, and no one can say that the Cowboys can't get there because they just did. And if they play the Ravens, which might be, but you never know because AFC is weird. Patrick Mahomes in playoffs are different. So we'll see what happens. But the Ravens, it looks like it could be the Cowboys versus the Ravens or the 49ers versus the Ravens. I don't believe in the Eagles. I think they're fucking frauds. I don't think they're going nowhere. They are losing either to the 49ers or they're losing. I think they play the 49ers the week 6. They got to play a first team. So they might lose the first round. I don't believe in the Eagles at all.
First round exit?
I think it's either first round exit or they play the 49ers and get their ass kicked. Well, either way, they ain't making it to no NFC Championship, because if they do, they're going to play my Dallas Cowboys and we're going to absolutely demolish them. It's ridiculous. It's not even close. The game that we showed on December 10th, or the way we played, well, we didn't even have to score that much. We just kept stripping the ball from Jalen Hurts, their best player, second best player, A.J. Brown, third best player, Devontae Smith. All three of their top players fumble the ball. So I don't believe in the Eagles at all. I think they're frauds. I respect Jalen Hurts like no tomorrow. I love the guy as a person. I think he's a great football player. But since he's on the Eagles, fuck him. I hate him. Suck a dick. Suck a dick. I hate his ass. So now, your honest reaction, quick, because we're 32 minutes in and we haven't even got to our second segment. So what are your honest reactions to those playoff scenarios?
It's wild. We just got to see how the last week plays out. I mean, we all pretty much know the teams that are going to be in the playoffs for the most part. So it's just all about who wins what games and who plays who.
All right, that sounds up pretty much. Now, we're going to go to our last three stories. First up, we have Dalvin Cook. Disappointing season with the New York Jets finally came to an end Tuesday, as the 4-time Pro Bowl running back was waived with 1 game remaining, according to his agency. The move was mutually agreed upon, according to the source, and will allow Cook to catch on a playoff team. He also restructured his contract to forfeit remaining guarantees, a source told ESPN Adam Schefter. Cook's playing time had been shrinking for weeks, and it rock bottom Thursday night in Cleveland, where he was in uniform but didn't play a single snap in the Jets' 37-20 loss to the Browns. Career first. That's remarkable. How you have a 4-time Pro Bowl suited up but didn't even play a goddamn snap, and you lost by 17. That's pretty bad. Now, I would say that the Cowboys' big thing right now is that our running back room is so punking on Pollard. And Pollard looks like he doesn't have the burst that he did last year because he had Zeke. Now, Dalvin Cook is used to being the number 1 back. I think maybe we can go in and swoop him up, because I would like to see Dalvin Cook, Tony Pollard, Rico Dowell, and Deuce Vaughn, 4 running backs in the room that can all play. And if you can have the 1-2 punch between Dalvin Cook, Tony Pollard, and Rico Dowell coming off the bench, and then on top of that, Deuce Vaughn coming in from them screens with Tony Pollard and Dalvin Cook, that running back room will be solid going into the playoffs. I would like to see if Jerry Jones could make that move to get Dalvin Cook, because I don't think he's going to be wanting anything. We can get him pennies on a dollar. I hope that's the case, because if we could pick him up like this. That would be great for Tony Pollard. Be able to kind of give him a rest so that when he does jump in, he can have that burst. Because once in a while, you'll see that burst. but it's not as consistent as it was last year because Zeke was there. With Zeke, dude, he's got a big-ass head. Yo, it's 3rd down and 1, 4th and goal. That big-ass head is going into the end zone. Tony Pollard, he's a smaller guy. He's a shiftier guy. He's more for that gadget plays. He's more for that big monster screens or big runs out of nowhere. That's those type of plays. He's not your everyday down back. Dalvin Cook is used to that. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler in that situation. I would love to see if we can get Dalvin Cook. What are your thoughts on the Dalvin Cook getting out of New York? And what do you think of my thoughts on the Dallas picking them up? Or what other teams do you think Dalvin Cook should go to help them out?
Dalvin Cook, bro. His role has been disintegrating with the Jets. We've all seen it.
Yeah.
4-time Pro Bowler. You know, a guy with a lot of talent. Restructured his contract with his agent. It's tough to see. He wants to go to a playoff team. Right?
Yeah.
He could end up at very well any of these playoff contending teams. He could end up with the Ravens. He can end up with the Bucks. He could end up with who's another team?
The Ravens, the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the 49ers.
I could see Niners picking them up.
The Chiefs. The Chiefs will be a good one. They need a running back. They need some running back help.
They need to fill in that gap there, the Chiefs.
There's a couple other Seahawks. Rams. There's a couple teams.
Yeah, he could go anywhere.
I think that if you want a shot, I think you got to go with the topper teams, and I think
Baltimore.
Nah,
Baltimore's stacked. If he goes there, it's stacked.
But on top of that, dude, they already have their like 2-3 running backs, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna
it's gonna be
like a utility guy.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants that. I think he wants like that type of thing. I think the only place that he'll get that is 2 spots.
Niners and Chiefs.
No, not even that. I don't think the Niners will give him that because they already have 3 running backs in the room, bro. Remember, they got
McCaffrey.
They got McCaffrey, got Mostert, they got Mitchell. They got 3 guys. That ain't gonna work. I think it's either the Chiefs or the Cowboys. Now, why you think I'm gonna say the Chiefs? Because Pacheco, he needs some help. He's the only dude, man. Allaire gets injured all the time. He's never consistent. That was a waste of a draft pick. He's a bust. Now, the Cowboys, we have a lot of running backs, but they're all small. Now, Dalvin Cook is not a big guy, but he is used to the every down back type way, like Zeke was. And when he was running with Minnesota, that dude was unstoppable. So I like that. And it's similar to Alvin Kamara with the Saints. He's an every down back. Now, he's not a big guy, but he's an every down back. Ingram, when Mark Ingram was there, he was that guy that would help him on those 3rd down and 1s when they need a big head, similar to Zeke. That was the real deal. So I think those 2 teams will be the best fit for Dalvin Cook. Now, you might change it otherwise, but I think for Chiefs, Cowboys are the best bet because they need help as an every down back to help out their other backs.
Yep.
What do you think?
What'd you say? You lagged at the end.
I said, what do you think? What do you think?
About before that, I'm saying.
My bad. So the Dalvin Cook, I say that I think the 2 best teams are the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Not because.
I think Chiefs probably would be his best fit. You brought up Seahawks. Seahawks could be a really good fit.
You don't like my Cowboys take?
I don't think so. I think the Cowboys are kind of in the mentality right now of like, we're fine where we are. We know what we have.
All right.
They're having one of their better seasons.
Yeah, but I just think that we're not running the ball as effective that we used to. And we need to be able to run the ball to mix things up. Especially against Kyle Shanahan, especially against John Harbaugh if we get there, against Andy Reid if we get there, against the Eagles, Nick Sirianni. There's a lot of teams that have good coaches that can scheme against us if we're just going to keep passing the ball. That's what I mean.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to go into our last 2 ones. First up, we have Tyreek Hill. Now, we're going to do just a quick segment. We're going to say shout out to Tyreek Hill and his family in Florida. They had their house on fire. He was at practice. He came storming back to look at the damage. Like I said on my TikTok, things in the house and things that are actual things can be replaced, but people's lives, loved ones can never be replaced. So it's all good that they're all safe and sound and they're all doing well. Now for the house, we don't know any external evidence on what happened, what was the cause, but we'll get that in the next couple of days. But it's just great to see that Tyreek Hill and his family and his wife are all safe and sound. He ran over. He was in a boot from a helicopter. They had showed him in a boot. So we'll see what happens with that. That's a little concerning that Tyreek Hill's walking around in a boot. But we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, what are your thoughts on the Tyreek Hill and the fire? And you could say your little thoughts on that, and then we'll just move on to the Lakers. And
I don't know. I don't know what caused the fire. So I'm curious to know what the cause an investigation, whether it was arson, whether it was an electrical error, whether it was like an oil, gas error.
Yeah.
Something.
All right. Well, like I said, we both hope that the families are all good and everything can get back to normal. We are moving on to our last here on our first segment with the Lakers. Now, the Lakers are playing the Heat right now. It just started up. We got a little bit more news than I thought. LeBron James welcomes his former team to Crypto.com Arena ahead of Los Angeles. Los Angeles tries to return to a win column. LeBron James' illness, Anthony Davis ankle/bone bruise, and Cam Reddish groin all upgraded to available Wednesday versus the Heat. So they're going to play, which is big to get on the win column again. That was great to see that all three of them are going to play. We need the health and everybody, all hands on deck. But with that being said, there is one guy that is not going to be here with playing with the Lakers tonight, I should say, against the Heat, and that's D'Angelo Russell. He is out with an injury, and it looks like he was out with a tailbone injury. I don't understand what's with that, but you never know how bad those things can be. But
that's your butt.
Of course. But still, it's like
that's painful.
Yeah, I know it's painful. I've done it a couple times.
I've had a tailbone injury. It's not fun.
But he's been having a slow start, man. 14.8 points a game, 2.9 rebounds, 6.1 assists, 46.6 completion percentage, field goal percentage. Against the Heat, he's not that better. His his points per game is 13, his assists are 6, and in 3-point percentage, he's in the 30s. So it's not been a hot year for D'Angelo Russell, and needs to get back to consistency if he wants to have a starting role back with the Lakers, because if not, he might be gone after this year. But other than that, any other final thoughts, Matt, that you have with the Lakers? If not, we'll move on to our second segment.
Not really. Lakers are mid.
Your Warriors suck too, so don't even say.
Hey, we got the same record right now.
Exactly. We both suck right now.
We're both figuring it out.
Yep. Okay, so we are now going to move to our second segment. Matt, we'll just do a quick one here because we're already 43 minutes in, so let's get this going. Conference play has officially started for college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with that, man? Well, what are the teams that are playing? This is your the D1 manager for St. John's, for Rick Pitino. So what is the whole deal with the conference play, and what games stand out to you, Matt?
Basically, conference play has just begun, and that is the most important time in college basketball, specifically men's college basketball. I know women's college basketball also just started their conference play as well. One second, guys. I didn't get a chance to eat dinner today, so. But we got a lot of good games starting off in the Big East, especially. I mean, that's the conference St. John's is in. Big Ten, SEC, ACC, all that stuff. All those conferences are getting real good. There's a couple upsets. I know Seton Hall just beat number 23 Providence right now.
That was a monster, and I called that shit.
I don't know how you did it.
Go on my TikTok. It was halftime, and I believe Seton Hall was up by like 6 or 5. And a lot of people would have picked Providence to come back because they had the momentum going into the second half. But I took Seton Hall with the upset because I love the upsets here. So I took Seton Hall. I also took because
we got another upset.
Who?
Miami just beat number 16 Clemson.
Yes! I called that shit too. Oh my God. No way. There's no way I called that. Wow. I called Miami and Seton Hall taking down the number 23 Providence and number 16 Clemson. Yo, that is fan-freaking-tastic. Yo, whoever's watching our YouTube show, go on my TikTok on the Fire Sports Pod under the I think it was like the second video.
Whoa.
Of last posted.
Heat guard Kyle Lowry apparently has 4 steals against the Lakers, and it's only the first quarter.
What the? That's crazy.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Epstein documents have been released.
Oh, Jesus.
That is a crazy start to 2024.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so more on the conference play. We just had 2 upsets in the top 25 of the men's college basketball. With Seton Hall beating number 23 Providence and Miami unranked beating number 16 Clemson.
Yeah, so some of the good games of the week we got UNC at Clemson. We have New Mexico at Colorado State. That game happened yesterday. I don't know who won.
I got you with that. Colorado State won that by 8.
That's actually Rick Pitino's son that coaches at New Mexico.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. We also had Auburn. We had a UNC take down Pitt yesterday. What other?
Armando Bacot scored his 2,000th point.
Yes.
He's been on college forever, though.
Yeah, he has. It's been a while. It's been a long time for him. But yeah, so we had some good games so far. What are your matchups looking forward? You could talk about St. John's a little bit. What are your
St. John's has very big games coming up. We hope we go Villanova this coming week. This coming Saturday. It's going to be a very tough game. It's an away game. Or no, it's not. I think we're at the Garden.
Oh, at the Garden. All right, there you go.
Yeah, we're at the Garden for that game. Yeah, we are. Or no, we're not.
No?
Yeah, it says away.
Okay.
Yeah, at the Pavilion.
All right.
Yeah, we got Nova at the Pavilion, and then after that, I believe we have Marquette. No, with Providence. So yeah, we have a tough 5-game stretch coming up ahead. So we have Villanova, Providence, Creighton, Seton Hall, and then Marquette, and then Nova again, actually.
Okay, this is what I think. In the next 6 games, you guys are going to go 4-6. I mean, 4-2. Yeah. I got you beating Villanova. I got you beating Creighton. I got you beating who else?
Seton Hall and Providence and Marquette.
I got you beating Providence and then losing to Seton Hall and losing.
Whoa! I don't like that.
Seton Hall's good, bro. It's gonna be a close one though. It's either Seton Hall.
We only lost by 4 points to UConn, bro.
That's what I mean. It's gonna be a close one though. Seton Hall just upsetted freaking Providence.
Yeah.
So I got you winning Providence. I got you winning Villanova, and
I hope we go 6-0 over this stretch.
That's not happening. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying I hope.
Hey, you can hope, but I'm just saying that's gonna be. If you do that, I will praise you big time. You and your college.
They do that, they better rank us.
Do you do that? You're gonna rank you big time. Don't even sweat over that. That's definitely gonna happen. But other than that, that's pretty much it for Matt and I segment for the men's college basketball conference play starting up. We got some great games coming up. And now we are going to be moving on to our last segment here on the Fire Sports Pod, as we're going to go the last 6 to 5 minutes going over the NFL Week 18 schedule. It's finally over. I cannot believe that the season is already over. That is ridiculous.
And I'll be there next month.
Oh yeah, if you guys don't know, Matt is going to the Super Bowl. Where is that again? Where's it being played?
Vegas.
Vegas. So Matt is going to the Vegas, the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium, right? I believe, right? Correct? Yeah, in Vegas for the Super Bowl. How'd you get those tickets again?
A funny story. I won a Verizon sweepstakes.
Yo, you fucker. I don't think you told me that.
I did.
You did tell me that, man. I forgot. That's funny. Oh wow, I don't remember that actually. That is funny as hell.
All right, let's get into these games.
So on Saturday, we got some big division game on the 8:15 slot, but the top slot, I mean, Pittsburgh's basically playing just to win. But they're still playing for a spot. They might be able if they take down Baltimore, but that ain't gonna happen at home. Baltimore,
I got Baltimore winning that.
I'm taking Baltimore all day. Then taking on the Houston Texans against the Colts. I'm going to go with my boy C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans win over the Colts at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. So right now we got the Ravens and Houston. Now we're moving to Sunday. You got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Saints. I'm not trusting the Falcons, bro. I got the Saints. I like the Saints. I think they got a little bit better of a roster. I'd rather their quarterback.
Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going
Cleveland. Go Cleveland.
They got the better defense.
Flacco's been nice.
Yep. Jacksonville against Tennessee. I'm going to go with Jacksonville all day.
I got Jaguars.
Minnesota against Detroit. This is going to be a close game, though. I would hope that Minnesota wins, but that loss that they had against my Cowboys, Detroit's going to – I think they're going to pummel – I think they're going to win.
Detroit easily. Oh, the Battle of Midway.
Oh,
the Jets versus the Patriots.
Okay, this is going to be one of the shittiest games on the planet, but it's funny. Zappy and the New England Patriots put up 21 points against Buffalo's defense, and Buffalo only put up 27. They only won by 6 in Buffalo. So I'm going to go with the New England Patriots.
I'm going to go with the Patriots.
It's sad for me to say because I don't really like New England, but I can't. The Jets are not going to win that game. Tampa Bay Bucks at the Carolina Panthers. We both know that the Bucks are winning.
Bucks.
All right, let me scroll down the list, and we'll get to the last games of the year. Let's get it. Okay, we got the Bears at the Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the Bears all day, and my boy Justin Fields to take down the Packers to end with an 8-9 record. Could you imagine that the Bears are going to get the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and they're going to be 8-9? They ended up having a pretty good season. I mean, they're 8-9. They're below 500. But, man, look where they were a couple weeks ago with Justin Fields just coming back. And now where he's back, now the question's concerned, is Justin Fields the man? I think Justin Fields is the guy for the Bears as quarterback. I just think people were just going crazy about him and putting so much pressure on the guy after that great first year. I think next year he's going to come back. I don't think they go for a quarterback. I think they help him out with a wide receiver, offensive line, defensive end, somebody to help out the team, especially help out and keep Justin Fields protected. I think they go offensive line. But I got Bears winning the game against Packers. What do you got?
I got the Bears.
Bears? All right. Dallas Cowboys against the Washington Commanders. Even though you're a Giants,
Dallas.
I know you're going with Dallas. Denver at the Raiders. This is going to be a close one. Denver is not starting Russell Wilson, but I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to stay with their the hot team right there. I'm going to go with Denver. Kansas City and the Chargers. This is Kansas City all day.
That's a given.
LA Rams.
Kelsey's going to have a field day with that game.
Oh, yeah. LA Rams at the 49ers. You're going to go 49ers, I know. I'm going to go with the upset, and I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going to go Niners.
They had a close one against the Commanders, and people may say I'm going crazy. They were tied.
I think they're gonna end the season off on a good note, the Niners.
I think they might, but I'm going to go with the Rams. I got the Rams. Philadelphia and the Giants. I cannot.
Eagles.
I don't want to go for the Eagles. I cannot go for the Giants. But, man, the Giants almost won the last time. The Philly just lost against Arizona. I don't think they're losing again. I'm gonna go with Philly.
Philly.
Seattle against Arizona at Arizona. This is where Seattle might get upsetted, but Arizona just beat the Eagles. I don't think Seattle's going to lose. I think Arizona's going to think that they're so good. So I'm going to go with Seattle. And to finish out the year on Sunday Night Football, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC, you got the battle of the division rivals between the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. This is going to be a big game for seeding-wise when it comes to the AFC. Who do we got?
I got the Dolphins.
I'm going with the Bills and Josh Allen, even though I hate both teams because they beat my Cowboys. But, hey, I'm going with the Bills.
All right. And that's
All
it.
right. That is pretty much it for our YouTube show here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. It was a pleasure to have you, Matt, on again, my co-host. We'll be rocking like this for the foreseeable future, and we'll be having some special guests coming in sooner rather than later. Some big names are coming to our table. Are we right, Matt?
Yep.
So we'll keep that a surprise. We'll keep you guys in the loop, but we'll keep you guys with a surprise coming up for our next show and to keep shows previous from now. We're going to sign off here. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. This is my co-host, Matt, and we are going to sign off. I appreciate all that Matt has done for the podcast and appreciate all the listeners that are out there. Let's keep going from here. Matt, final say before I end the show.
I got nothing else to say other than have a good night, everybody.
All right, that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks, Matt, again. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. This is my co-host,
Matthew Abner.
And we are the Fire Sports Pod. Peace out.
See you guys.